Welcome back, guys. Today I want to talk about Xsens once again. It has been quite some time since I made a thorough review, or kind of like this months later, X months later. How is it holding up? Has it been worn down? Has it went down in quality? Is it still worth buying, even considering, the annual cost of the product? And also, what has your experience been with it? Doing it indoors and with height differences, like going upstairs, downstairs, and I'm going to recap a few things I've already talked about in the past, but I think that this video is a great standalone video. Hopefully, by the end, I will have covered everything that I've covered in my previous videos about the Xsens Awinda suit, and yeah, so hopefully this will be informational for you, and helpful for your, deciding what you should buy. So, my first suit, first motion capture solution was actually Vive VR, like the VR set, and that was great for the time and for what I was trying to do. But I wanted something better, that where I could kind of explore more than one room and kind of run and do more advanced things like rolling and crawling. And I got Rococo. And long story short, it's overall a decent suit. If I had to rate it out of 10, I would probably say about a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. It starts at around $2,500. Yeah, $2,500. So $2,500 plus $50 for shipping. Last time when I bought it back in last November in 2019. And I had it for 2 months, and I sold it. And the reason why I sold it was because I wanted to upgrade to Xsens. So that is where we will begin our journey. So I got Xsens in February of 2020. And to put it simply, the suit was just so phenomenal to me. Like, it was just so mind-blowingly accurate. Like, every single, like, it was just so good that it inspired me to make a Halo Reach animated series. I was like, my gosh, the stuff that this suit is producing is better than what was in Bungie's Halo Reach game 10 years ago. And yeah, it was 10 years ago, and I think that was hand animated, but still, like, it's impressive, it's professional, and it is on key. Now, actually, one thing I have forgot to mention, and I want to have full disclosure with you guys, is that when I did that first impression and review video, they did send me what is it called, like a charging station, and also an extra prop. So about $500 worth of free stuff. And then I paid about $75 for shipping for that. That was the deal. But they just wanted to say thank you for doing that. One of the prop trackers that they sent me, so the Awinda suit system, by the way, $7,600 comes with an extra prop by default. It doesn't cost any extra money. It's just one on top for free. So it comes with that, and I believe that one works, but the one that they sent me for free is broken, I think. I haven't actually talked to them, or maybe I'm doing something wrong on my side, but it just doesn't work. It turns on, but it just doesn't link up to my computer and little radio station. So yeah, I want to be clear with you guys. I did get free stuff from them, and right now I actually got a free year because I've agreed to with one of their guys that they're doing a if I do promotion for them on my main channel on YouTube, then they're giving me a full year free of Pro. So yeah, I have been compensated for with them, and so I want to be clear with you guys so you just know. Like, but again, I like being honest with my reviews, and that's something that they stress to me in the emails. Obviously, they want me to even focus on the bad stuff too. They want me to be honest, but thankfully for them, there's really not a whole lot bad to say about the Xsens Awinda system. The first thing is about the straps. The straps do take time, and they're probably unhealthy because they kind of, depending on how tight you make it, bad for your blood circulation, so you don't want to wear it too long. But the good thing is that if you got someone that's maybe a bit fatter or skinnier, just different sized people, then the strap's going to work. Unlike the other suit, if you got someone that's maybe younger, like a 14-year-old or maybe a 50-year-old man, the size differences just, you're not going to be able to use the more expensive $12,000 suit. So, but also the thing I love about this system is that it doesn't use Wi-Fi at all, and the other one is actually mobile. So that's pretty cool, is that you can run around up and down mountains for hours and it will capture everything on the suit. But You can actually do the same thing. So I like to go mobile with this suit, and it's something that I really wanted to do with Rococo, but it wasn't really quite possible because, unlike Rococo, this Xsens Awinda system has a base station. So this base station can actually collect the data, bring it onto your PC, and store it there until it's ready to process. So essentially, what happens here is that you put the suit on, all right? You have like a bunch of little orange indicator things you press on, you turn them on, and you have them all over your body, your head. You have like a shirt with a few of them on. And you have to do, I think, what was it? A pose? Was it a pose? Yeah. Pose by the side, in pose, and then you walk forward, and then you walk back, and then you freeze. Again, in pose. And that collects a lot of information and it kind of processes it for you, and you can walk around while you do that. And then you click modify, and they actually you click apply pose. So before, I was complaining about this when I got the suit, is that you can actually you could configure the suit and get it mocapping just by yourself, which I think if you're an indie guy or a couple of indie people, you might want to be able to motion capture, especially in today's world, with the virus going on and everything, that you want to be able to motion capture by yourself. And thankfully, COVID actually forced that on Xsens to make that a thing, where you can press apply in pose and then get ready in the pose, because before I was having to like use my phone to press enter while in pose, and it was just bad. So they're improving the software about every 2 months, at least since I've been, on the customer list or whatever you call it, or just since I've been a customer and been using this suit. So the data has been phenomenal. It is really great. Just like 2 days ago, I had a character that I was mocapping even in this small room, and I was just running, and I got caught by like an electricity volt thing. My character did, and I started freaking out and rolling on the ground, caught on fire and stuff, and it captured it perfectly. Like the data is just the I don't think I even did cleanup on that like at all. It was just so good that there was no need, there was no jumping and stuff. Now, I will say, I have been able to grab my laptop, which is kind of like a $1,400 gaming laptop. But as long as your computer can run like basic 3D stuff, it should be able to run the program where you capture the data. So if you grab your laptop, like I did, and bring it, for example, to a tennis court with a couple fold-up chairs, you put one on the fold-up chair, and with the Xsens Awinda system, you put on the straps, and you click record, you can record. I did at night, and I've done it at day. I've been able to run out around parks. I've been able to run up and down slides or staircases at kids' parks. Probably scared parents, maybe. But it's been possible. And I've been able to run and sprint and do cartwheels, roll and crawl, and push-ups. Virtually everything you can imagine. Walking upstairs, it tracks the the height data. Not completely accurately, but the data is all there. It doesn't glitch out or anything. It might not get the height right, but that's something that in any 3D program, whatever you're editing in, like Source Filmmaker or Maya or Unreal, that's a really basic thing to just move to correct that. So it's like walking correctly on the stairs. So the data's all there. The Xsens Awinda system has about 150-foot radius. It means that, and even if they told me even if you go outside of that zone, it can actually put the data onto all the trackers. Each tracker will collect its own data for up to 10 to 15 seconds, I think is what they said, maybe up to 30 seconds, until you start losing data. So if you run outside of that zone, like 200 feet, if you can run that fast and then run back to the 150-foot zone, then the data should go back to the collecting radio thing or whatever you call it. I'll just call it the radio system, whatever. Puts it on your laptop, stores it again, then you can run out of that zone again. I haven't tried that, but in theory, that's how it's able to work. So there's actually a lot of concern about this suit. I've been able to record everything pretty much flawlessly. I did have a thing where I was outside and I was sitting on a bench, and I had my soldiers that I was mocapping. They were supposed to sit into a flying ship and fly away, a falcon. So they were sitting there, and the legs were, they just kind of glitched a little bit, up and down. But it was so minor that it was actually unnoticeable at first. I will say that depending on what motion capturing you're doing for like whatever rig, that when you apply that, like when you retarget it onto a rig or a 3D model character, then you might run into issues. So you always need to kind of keep that in mind. But that's not really it's not really have anything to do with Xsens, honestly, because the data you're getting here is pretty great. I'm trying to think of anything, any big issues. It has had that problem that I've had with like Five and Rococo, where you're like walking and then you fly away. But I actually learned that if you just let it process, then it fixes it. So let me talk about processing real quick. Processing is when you record your data. Let's say we go outside or in your bedroom, you record your data and you save it. That's only the first stage, all right? So that's called, like, I think live data. We'll just call it live data for now. You can either do the standard processing on it, or I think it's called the normal processing, which is a little bit quicker, and it kind of smooths things out, and it has like a really intense algorithm that they've been working on for 20 years to mildly fix it up. But if you really want the good stuff, you want to do the HD processing, and that it doesn't cost anything extra. It's just a part of the program, and it does take up more time. And what I've learned is that you need a good processor to run this stuff really quickly. I think for a 1 minute animation of running, jumping, rolling, more intense kind of stuff, that is probably going to take about 20 to 25 minutes to process. Honestly, it's completely worth it in my opinion. You don't want to process, by the way, too many animations at sometimes, because I've had like three different animations running at the same time, and that was too much for my computer to handle back when I had the GTX 750, which is actually a pretty old, graphics card. But if you have like a 1080p or 1080, sorry, or 2080 or whatever it's called, one of the better higher end ones right now, you'll be fine. So, yeah. I will say one thing about the software is that, which we're about to move into, is that obviously the suit costs $7,600, I think, with shipping, maybe a little bit extra, like $20 extra. I can't remember, but yeah. So you get, you get the stuff. You get like a to-go bag. You get like a few extra things. You get like a little Xsens action figure, and you get like different size gloves and different size shirts. So, and of course you get like by the way, you get like a USB you have to plug into your computer, which is kind of sucky. I get it for security reasons, so people can't like come up with cracks and stuff, which is about why I'm going to talk about this next, is that the software is not free. So, yes, you do own the suit, obviously, when you buy it, but you can't use it without software. If you're an indie person like me, just someone chilling at home, or I think if you're under a team of like 10 or 15 people, depending on like what your project is, you can apply if you're not sure. Is that the first year is free, and then the software moving on after that is significantly cheaper if you were a big studio like Bungie or Microsoft, or Microsoft Game Studios or whatever. So if you're just an indie like me, you get the first year of software for free, and then every year after that it's $2,000 and $700, so $2,700 total every year. And I can't confirm this yet, but I think it's 3 times the amount for that if you just want to buy a lifetime license. So in a way, Xsens Awinda system, if you just want to buy it and own it for good, it's always yours, then it's probably around the ballpark of 17,000. If you're like me, you don't have that much money. If you can save up 7,600, that's good enough for the first year. You're good to go. There's nothing extra, nothing you have to buy. The thing about Xsens is that they are very clear cut. They are not afraid to tell you how expensive stuff is, but they don't have gimmicky like little extra, packages or whatever. They're like, look, $3,000 a year, pretty much. That's it. There's not a bunch of different packages. You don't lose features or whatever. There's 2 types of programs, types. There's the pro software, and then there's the standard software. Unless you're trying to do live streaming stuff, then you're fine at the $2,700. We have a few comments here that I want to read. I've had a lot of comments through my reviews and first impressions and things that I want to talk about here. So Kinetic Motive says, I'm very hesitant to buy Xsens because of that yearly fee. 75,000, yeah, 7,500 is a great price, but adding the extra 3,500, it kind of blows. So people keep giving different prices. It's not that much. Again, it's 2,700. If you want to buy the pro software, it is like 5,400, I think. I might be wrong about that. Here's the thing. It is expensive. And with, inflation and, just with like competition and things like that, I think Xsens used to be like 30,000. Obviously, throughout the years, I think Xsens is going to drop to a more affordable, like 4 to 5,000, depending on if Roku can catch up. A big thing I haven't mentioned yet, by the way, is that Xsens, unlike pretty much every solution out there, except for like the really big ones, it is immune to magneticness. And what's so relevant about that is that literally metal is everywhere. It's in your floors, it's in the walls, it's probably on you if you have your phone on you. These are things that can cause disruptions and little burps and hiccups and things like Rococo or PN software, is it? Vive, I never had a problem with magneticness, but again, it's a camera system that's using infrared. So that's kind of a different beast altogether. It's not inertia based like Xsens or these other solutions are. The thing is that some people with my reviews are mistaking that Xsens is consumer or prosumer, but it's so expensive. It's not really. It's not really that. It's low. It's cheap industry professional grade. So most studios have been using 40 to 50 to $60,000 motion capture gyms, that they have set up at the office. But with Xsens, it's extremely mobile. It gives you probably more reliable data than those 50 to 60,000 solution systems. And even if it doesn't, the data is so good, it doesn't really matter unless you're like literally trying to make something extremely realistic. And even with Xsens, people have been able to make extremely realistic things with Xsens. In my opinion, it is extremely realistic and it's portable and it's cheap as far as, you know, 5 digit goes. It's under 10,000, which is extremely affordable in my opinion for if you have a little bit of extra money aside, if you have a decent job, then that is extremely affordable. With that being said, I understand why there are so many comments being discouraged from it. And that's just because if you're not doing something professional grade and you're not making extremely good money, then that's out of your ballpark, and it sucks. I wish Xsens had a more affordable option, a cheaper, maybe less effective suit, but still, good. But the technology is there and it's really, I mean, you get what you pay for. What you're paying for with Xsens is like an extremely like powerful motion capture solution, and it's going to be reliable. As far as like my first things I brought up in the video is like, is this suit going to be is this suit still working, 7, 8 months later? Yeah. I can easily say, I just motion capture, like I said, a couple days ago, and the suit did perfectly fine. No cleanup, no problems. It's not deteriorating like potentially other inertia-based systems have, like PN or Rococo, although I can't confirm that, and I don't really want to say much about that because I don't know much about that kind of stuff. Apparently, inertia-based systems can be, get worse over time. But really, it comes down to the software, and the software has been like kind of tinkered on, and the algorithms just know what you're doing based on the data, which the data is already great on the inertia system, but it fixes it up for you really well. Like it's rocket science kind of stuff, I have to imagine. Albino says, thanks for showing this exciting mocap. Is it released already? Price tag for complete bundle. Obviously, I told you guys that already, 7,600. Obviously, yeah, it is released. And how do you get in contact? You have to email them. If you go to their shopping cart and add all the stuff or whatever, they're just going to email you. So everything is done over email. It's not like add to cart, you know. Get it free to test out. You can, I think, if you're probably big enough or you have some kind of incentive for Xsens. They do have a marketing team and people you can talk to. So if you're like a bigger studio and you're thinking about buying like 4 or 5, then you could probably get one free for a couple weeks just to test out to send back. And yeah. Digital ML says, this is great, thinking about buying one. What about finger capture? Obviously not included, but what's the option to integrate it with Xsens? So there's Magnus gloves, which I haven't been able to get yet, but they are wireless and they're just as great as Xsens, but they're for your fingers. They cost $3,500, and I think there's no software fee, but they work with Xsens, and they'll actually be inside the program. So that could be a really great solution for you guys if that's something you're really wanting to invest in. There's also another solution that someone else came up with that showed me, is that he had one Xsens tracker right here and one Xsens tracker right here. He made 3D printed, he put a tracker here, so he bought one extra, and when he moved his hands like this, well, he would motion capture his hands like that. He had like a little algorithm set up, so that's an option. If you're the person that's I'm talking about, then please share your stuff again down in the comments. I'll try to share in the description if I can find it. Ashua Ka says, I disagree with you about Rococo is the best choice from all the suits you mentioned. I don't have the problem you mentioned. Cheaper, good quality if you use the filters. So yeah, Rococo has filters you can use, which I don't think I ever utilize and I didn't have the patience for. Again, if you have the money for it, I would go with Xsens, but Rococo is a promising choice. But you have to understand it's not going to be excellent data. And one thing that I really died to tell y'all, and I wish I really did, after watching all my reviews again, I was like, damn, I wish I said this, is that every advertisement you see for a motion capture system, they're going to show the data that isn't broken. They're going to show the data that works and looks really well and has no issues whatsoever or very minor issues. And that's just been the case with everything. Their sample data is going to look great. And honestly, the only system I've ever seen that has not like kind of misled people with like always being perfect data is Xsens. I mean, Xsens even screws up sometimes, but it's not like mistakes where I even have to really address sometimes. But Animation Method says, I'm interested if you have the Rococo mocap system. So no, I sold my system. If anyone's wondering still. Just for clarification, Xsens is definitely not used in any production for Halo or Destiny. And I said that I think it was used in potentially Halo, but also definitely Destiny. And it was, actually. Bungie has used this stuff. So again, another testament to Marvel has used this stuff. Just to show you that this is not a hobbyist kind of thing. Although if you have the money for it, like me, you can do it as a hobby. But for most people, if you're working like a normal, day job, minimum wage or something like that, this is just something that should not be considered unless you have the proper funds and savings, and this is something you really want to do. And it works best if you have a contingency plan to make money from it. So that would help. If you do like commissions and stuff like that, I was kind of thinking about doing it. I haven't really done it yet, but some people have been wanting motion capture. I'm helping my friend Josh do stuff for free. It's just be careful, Don't it's the price of a car, So Akinma was bought by Apple. That was for Vive. Yeah, that was a comment. The Mighty Flog. Xsens will go out of business, too expensive when others are coming down in price and going up in quality. That is true. But here's the thing. None of them have cracked the magnetic immunity. And that, from my understanding, took Xsens several years of, again, rocket science, probably kind of research and labor and science. Probably some patents behind it to back it up too, to protect the suit from anti-magnetic. And that's because it's a compass and a magnet and like something else that measures your X, Y, Z. And that can be greatly affected by magnets, and even just being on Earth, there's a natural magnet, the North and South Pole. That is actually what keeps the system from working. I think that is what makes the system work. But closer magnets will affect that and screw up the data. And that's how Xsens works, I believe, as well. So, yeah, until someone can until someone can stop that, Xsens is not going anywhere. One thing that I was worried about with Xsens when I emailed them and asked them some questions, I was like, I'm just worried that if y'all go out of business, will I be hanging on to almost $8,000 suit that I invested in, and the software isn't able to be, I can't use the software because essentially that happened when I bought all my Vive gear. I bought trackers, I bought expensive straps, I bought things that made it easier to mocap, and then Akinma, which is software that isn't necessarily tied to Vive, but made it possible to easily create, motion capture data in humanoid form with Vive, was bought by Apple. And some people got ripped off. Some people bought right when that merger happened, right when Apple bought the company, and never got their system. And they weren't clear with their customers. They just took Apple's money and, ran off, disappeared into the void. All these ambitious young people creating this epic startup, working with Disney and stuff, and a Star Wars project, VR project, just poof, just bought by Apple. And of course, predictably, it was shelved. So you could no longer buy the product. You just lived out your lifetime on Vive. I'm sorry, on Akinma, and then that's it. You can still use Unreal Engine and other methods, but that was the best one. But anyway, so I think I've covered about pretty much everything in this video, and I just wanted to say 8 months later, after buying the Xsens Awinda system, has been a good investment for me. I do appreciate the free stuff that they've sent me, and also helping me with the free year for promotion, which has not been executed yet. But yeah, it's just I'm really happy with it. Their customer service could probably be better, although lately I've had a good time because I'm starting to talk to maybe not the sales staff, which is I feel like is a little bit more kind of they just kind of have like a system of doing things and like almost copy pasting things or whatever, kind of mechanical, I guess. But now I'm talking to some of the people there and stuff, and I realize that the company is sturdy. It's almost fully realized, if not completely realized. It's just it's a multi-million-dollar company. They have tons of investors. They have tons of it's not just motion capture. They have tons of different other projects that make tons of money. And a lot of them look promising. I'd probably buy some Xsens stocks if they had stocks, and it's a sturdy company, so I'm not worried about losing out on my investment. And that their whole thing is that you can count on them, and that really their software and their suit is just so reliable that it's just I feel safe, although I don't like the heavy price above my head. Like it's just kind of weighing on me. It's like a lot of money, but again, this isn't really meant for consumers, or hobbyists. It's meant for professionals. It's meant to, create great data for video games and movies and films and things like that. And until Rococo or PN Studio or Shadow Suit or whatever, until any of these competitors are able to crack what Xsens has managed to do, I just don't see them lowering their price. Potentially, they might eventually, but better yet, I don't see them struggling at all. Xsens was kind of the pioneer in inertia based. All these other companies, I think, were kind of inspired by Xsens. So I don't think they're going anywhere, and they have tons of contracts. And the fact that, like, for example, Rococo is a sturdy company, and I am excited to see where they go. But unlike Rococo, they don't have reoccurring money. Part of the reason why I feel safe with Xsens is because they have 30 to 40,000 customers, I think, a year, giving them $27,000, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000, $9,000 every single year. And that gives them $20-30 million probably every year to grow and to be sturdy and to have a backbone as a company. So I'm kind of giving, this license to not only keep my software updated, if it could be improved, that would be great. But also just getting firmware updates. It now works with Vive, so you can use Vive objects to pick up crates and stuff, and in the game, or sorry, in the 3D universe, or whatever. So the integration with Vive and Steam and all that stuff is really great. Um, and yeah, I feel like I've just kind of cherry picked all the good things and left out all the bad things with Xsens, but I haven't really had a bad experience, and it makes me laugh that I was sad about Vive, and um, or you know, with Rococo, like I was upset about that when there's just like this very expensive but very, very reassuring software and hardware out there that I can rely on, that I can even stumble on sometimes, fall on my back, and it doesn't break. It's well built, it's smart, and you get what you pay for kind of technology. I don't think I've ever bought anything this expensive in my life before besides a car, besides a new car, and that thing didn't even do me as well as these things. I mean, that ran down a lot quicker. So yeah, I think that's just been my God honest thoughts about the project, and I'm sorry, about the Xsens, and my projects have been benefiting very greatly. And for me, it's made my dreams come true because I love filmmaking. I love, telling stories and things like that, and I hate animating. And it takes time. It takes so much time. It took me about 80 to 90 hours to do really low quality animation. Um, and hand animating for about a 12-minute video. And with Xsens, I could create extremely high quality, lifelike, without cleanup animation in 12 minutes versus 75 hours down to 12 minutes. I could have such a solid animation. Add processing, add the retargeting process, that's 1 hour over 75. I found all my stuff, all my production has just gone, my productivity, sorry, has just gone through the roof. I can spit out, I can spit out I did a CGI video like this where I was wearing the suit and talked for, I think, 22 minutes, or it may have been 15, 16 minutes actually. But I literally just sat there and I just had this solid animation of me, you know, moving around, talking, walking, and stuff. And it would, you know, um, but there it is. There it is. 8 months later, the suit has done me well. Again, the price could be better. I really hope that one day they do drop the 2700, because that is the Achilles heel. It really does kill the motivation. I've seen a lot of you guys, actually, a lot of thumbs up and supports. Like, look, a lot of people are saying, look, I can do the 7600. It's going to break me, but I could do it. I want to do it. But then, like, next year, I got to pump out another 3000. And then even then, I still don't own the software. I got to pump out another 3000 a year after that. And then by the end of the year, or by the end of the decade, let's say I keep doing this, it's $25,000, I get it. And I wish Xsens could come up with some kind of plan, because there's a lot of people. Xsens, if you're watching, there's a lot of people. All right, there's a lot of people that want to buy your suit. But a lot of them are scared by that $2,700. I think even a 2000 would be more approachable for a lot of people. But 2,700, ugh, that hurts, But anyway, if you guys liked the video, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you have any questions, I'm pretty quick to respond and answer them. Just let me know. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one soon. All right, peace.